we are witnessing the absolute end of an era. Think back to just a year or two ago. We were all marveling at large language models that could write an email or draft a poem, right? We thought that was the revolution. Well, we were wrong. The age of the digital assistant you have to constantly command, it is officially dead. What Google just unveiled at I/O 2026 isn't just some neat software update you play around with. It is a massive, structural paradigm shift toward true agentic intelligence. The tools are no longer waiting for us to tell them what to do. Are you still typing questions into a box? Are you still waiting, staring at a blinking cursor, just hoping for a decent answer? If you are, you're literally living in the past. Think about how much time we waste trying to engineer the perfect prompt. We're essentially babysitting a system just to get the output we actually want. It's frankly exhausting. Well, the era of the reactive chatbot is over. The new AI doesn't wait for your brilliant prompt. It acts. It plans. It executes complex, multi-step tasks in the background while you sleep. We're moving incredibly fast from a world of reactive chatbots to proactive autonomous agents. The old model basically turned you into a micromanager. You know the drill, delegating tiny, isolated tasks to a bot, checking its work, feeding it the very next step. It's like managing an intern who needs constant supervision. Google is fundamentally replacing that conversational model. They're introducing autonomous agents designed to plan, create, and take action across your entire digital life. Imagine an AI that notices your flight is delayed, automatically reschedules your rental car, and emails your clients, all without you ever lifting a single finger.
Okay, let's dive into this. To truly grasp the scope of this explainer, you need to shift your mental model entirely. The death of chatbots means those isolated silo chat interfaces you're so used to are now totally obsolete. Think of the chatbot like a walkie-talkie, right? It only works when you press the button and speak into it. What we are moving to is way more like an autonomous drone. You give it a high-level objective, and it navigates the terrain completely on its own. We're no longer just talking to a system, we are unleashing a highly capable, proactive worker.
But to unleash a digital worker that doesn't completely fail the second it hits the real world, it needs to actually understand the physical environment it's operating in. Enter the Gemini Omni world model. This is the underlying engine powering this massive shift. At I/O, Google demonstrated this by having the AI watch a live video feed of a messy desk, locate a specific pair of lost keys, and understand that they were physically hidden under a stack of papers. It sets the true foundation for machine understanding of our complex, multisensory reality. Because without this world model, an agent is really just blind software.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is when we contrast Gemini 3.5 Flash with Omni, the difference is absolutely staggering. On one hand, you have Gemini 3.5 Flash delivering frontier-level intelligence at 4 times the output speed. It's built for raw, blistering efficiency. But right next to it is Gemini Omni. This is a premium, true multimodal world model processing text, audio, images, and video in real time. Crucially, it inherently understands physical constraints. It understands gravity. If it watches a video of a glass falling off a table, it anticipates the shatter. It understands complex sound synchronization. It doesn't just read data, it comprehends the actual physics of the environment.
So how does that foundational world-aware intelligence actually translate into practical daily application for you and me? It becomes your autonomous digital worker. Google introduced this concept as Gemini Spark. You cannot think of Spark as just another passive tool sitting on your taskbar waiting for a click. Imagine having an employee who never sleeps, never takes a coffee break, and anticipates exactly what you need before you even realize you need it. That is Gemini Spark. It's designed from the ground up to be a relentless 24/7 background worker handling the friction of your everyday life. Let's look at how this actually operates in the wild. An urgent email arrives from a client. Spark reads it, it analyzes the context, it assesses the urgency, it updates your calendar schedule automatically to carve out meeting time. But it absolutely doesn't stop there. It then executes a complex, long-horizon task across entirely different third-party apps. It opens up your accounting software, it pulls the latest quarterly data, it builds a comprehensive financial model, then it drops those charts into a fully formatted slide deck. The sequence is seamless, it is cross-platform, it is relentless, and frankly, it is inevitable. Now, all of this sounds incredible on the front end, but think about the back end for a second. You simply cannot run relentless autonomous agents on legacy operating systems. Traditional software architecture just crumbles under the weight of an AI that's constantly initiating its own actions. That tension brings us directly to the Antigravity orchestration engine. This isn't just some routine software patch or a minor visual update. It's a complete structural environmental upgrade for the developers who are actually building our future. It redefines how software fundamentally behaves.
Antigravity 2.0 has completely evolved from its origins. It's no longer just a simple coding platform. It is a full, dedicated environment for massive AI agent management. When you have hundreds of millions of these autonomous agents operating at once, booking flights, scraping data, communicating with each other, you need a radically different infrastructure. Antigravity natively orchestrates these agents across complex, interwoven workflows. It integrates advanced Android development features directly into the core, literally turning your mobile device into an active node. It's the sophisticated command center built specifically to deploy and manage digital workers at a true global scale.
And this brilliantly illustrates the reality check we all need to face. You cannot run an autonomous ecosystem of this unbelievable magnitude in the cloud of 2024. Massive software leaps demand equally massive physical infrastructure. To support an AI that never stops working, you need data centers that stretch for literal miles, consuming power on the scale of small cities. You simply cannot launch an agentic intelligence framework across the globe without completely overhauling the physical hardware that sustains it. Software is weightless, sure, but the computing power required to run it is heavily bound by steel, concrete, and silicon.
6 times. That is the multiplier Google is applying to their annual capital expenditure. Let the sheer scale of that single digit really sink in for a second, because it underscores the severity of the situation. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars in new physical infrastructure, built in record time. Google just proved the reality of this paradigm shift by betting the physical foundation of their entire operation on this transition. When a company of this immense size multiplies its hardware spend 6-fold in a single year, they aren't just experimenting. They are preparing for a completely new world order in computing.
So where exactly is all that massive capital going? It's being poured directly into the new 8th generation TPUs. Honestly, the specs on these processors inspire genuine awe. They are pushing the absolute boundaries of thermal physics and material science, hyper-optimized for massive scale training and inference. This is the hardware reality. We used to measure computational leaps in percentages. Now we're measuring them in multiples. This highly advanced silicon is exactly what makes deploying 24/7 autonomous computing physically possible for billions of concurrent users, all without the entire global system just melting down. So the crucial point is, how does this massive, multi-billion-dollar physical infrastructure actually touch you? Google's explicit strategy is to integrate Gemini into every single layer of its consumer services. Why? Because in the age of AI, frictionless utility is the ultimate competitive moat. If they can make your daily life exponentially easier, you will never leave their ecosystem. They're bringing this staggering server farm power back down to the palm of your hand. This agentic intelligence is going to live directly inside the daily workflows you already rely on. We're already seeing these new proactive features rolling out across Google Search. We're getting sophisticated voice-based editing natively integrated into Docs, and deep AI embedded directly into YouTube and Maps. But here is the truly jarring fact. Intelligent eyewear is launching this fall. This isn't some distant conceptual prototype sitting in a lab. In just a matter of months, Google is bringing this proactive, agentic AI directly into your physical field of vision. Imagine walking down the street and having your eyewear autonomously translate signs, identify people, and guide your path in real time. The era of reactive artificial intelligence is officially behind us. The tools we built to patiently respond to our explicit commands, they're rapidly evolving into proactive agents that operate entirely on their own. We're moving from operators to overseers, which leaves us staring down a profound, inescapable reality. How will you adapt when your software no longer needs you to operate it?